Hey friends, it's so good to see you again. Are you ready to hear our Bible story this week for Compassion Camp? It's about some friends who were brave together. They helped someone, and the person they were helping, he was really brave too. Let's listen to the story. Some friends of mine are going to help me tell it this time. I think you're going to like it. Let's listen and watch. One day, Jesus visited someone's home. Everyone heard he was there. They were so excited to see him because they'd heard that he had healed and helped people be part of their communities again. A friend who was paralyzed had his friends take him to see Jesus. When the group got there, it was so crowded. There was no way to get to Jesus through all the people. They had an idea. They climbed up onto the roof of the house and they made a hole in the roof above where Jesus was. Then they lowered their friend into the room. When Jesus saw their faith, he was encouraged. He told their friend, "I see you and I love you. You are made whole for your community. Your sins are forgiven." Some temple leaders, called scribes, were watching Jesus. When they heard him say this to the friend who was paralyzed, they were angry. They thought to themselves, "Who does Jesus think he is? Only God can say these things." Jesus could tell the scribes disagreed with him. So he said to them, "I know what you're thinking right now, but what's easier? To say, 'I see you and I love you,' or 'get up and walk'? I'll show you that it's possible to do both." With compassion, Jesus turned to the friend who was paralyzed and said, "Get up, pick up your mat, go home, you're healed now." He stood up amazed. He picked up his mat and he went home with his friends. Everyone was so happy. They praised God because they had never seen anything like this before. Have you heard that story before? I bet you have. Let's think about it. Sometimes we think we only need to be brave for big, scary things. Sometimes we think being brave is only for superheroes. But whether it's a friend or a stranger, a family member or a neighbor, or even if it's for ourselves, compassion helps us be brave. Sometimes being brave means being like the friends and showing up for someone. Sometimes being brave means being like the friend who is paralyzed and sharing your own story and asking for what you need. Sometimes being brave means being like Jesus and fully seeing and accepting a person for who they are and liking them just because of who they are. I heard a friend the other day say that said that being brave isn't about being scared and doing it anyway. Being brave is listening to inside yourself and saying that on the outside. So sometimes being brave is saying no. Sometimes being brave is saying yes. Being brave just means listening to your heart and to your mind and letting your words and your body do what you know is right. How can you be brave this week? There are lots of things that we can do. We can send postcards to our neighbors. We can make cookies and brownies and we can share them with our neighbors. Maybe we can check the mail for our neighbor. Maybe we can rake the leaves or the pine straw for our neighbor. Some of my youth friends are walking their neighbors' dogs because it's just too hot for them to get out and do it themselves. There are so many ways that we can be brave. I want to hear this week all about how you're being brave, about showing your compassion. Remember, compassion is when we see someone hurting, we feel their hurt ourselves, and we try to help their hurt go away or get better. How can you be brave this week? I want to hear all about it. You can send me a video. You can write me a note. You can give me a call on the phone. Have mom or dad take a picture of how you're being brave and send it to me. Whatever it is, I want to hear about how you're being brave and sharing compassion this week. See you later.